Good morning, brothers and sisters in car equipment. Mike Karubi, President, Triple SA. I'm doing this video today because I'm sure by now you have heard all the stories out there about the allegations against Vice President Robert Hemlau and his removal from our staff in the Union Hall. I just want to say that listen, do not buy into these conspiracy theories and all this other stuff that's going on. As the president of this union, this is not easy for me to do. Remove somebody from my staff. It's not a happy time. I don't like doing that. I try to give my staff reps the utmost benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to get into, and I can't get into all the allegations that were made against Mr. Hemlau by the members and by his executive board officers in car equipment to which you elected. What I tried to do was meet with the executive board members. There's 3 executive board members in car equipment. I met with them privately. I did not want to bring this to the whole board. I felt that it wasn't needed at that point. I met with them at a meeting, myself, executive vice president, and 3 of your executive board members to discuss what was going on in car equipment. Because in the end, it's you, the members, who suffer if something is not correct. Okay. And as your president, it is my obligation and my duty to make sure that you, as our members, dues paying members, are being represented correctly and being satisfied. So I had met with them, the executive board members, and explained and informed them about the allegations that were made by some of our members against Mr. Hemlau. They were aware of some of them they were not aware of. But at that meeting, some other things came about, which was very surprising to me. Allegations by the executive board members of how Mr. Hemlau was treating them, and how they cannot represent their members, how they should not represent their members, and that everything had to go through Mr. Hemlau. Well, that's not how we run this union. The executive board, as well as the vice president, are elected by you, the membership, to represent you, the members, at every given process within the department. Now, the executive board members are not released for the most part. We try to release the vice president, and I'm going to go into that for a couple of seconds. Our union structure is not like TW structure. TW has 5 departmental vice presidents. They are automatically released to the union on union pay. Automatically. The president has no jurisdiction over that. All right. And everybody that works under the vice president in those departments, they can be released by the president to work on staff. Some work in the field. As you know, in car equipment, you have the TW has section chairpersons that work in the depots that are released, whether it's 5 days a week or whatever it is, 3 days a week that they're released. They're TA paid released. What we try to do in this union is we try to ask the vice president of the section, would you want to be released on staff to us or released TA paid? We have 17 vice presidents, 17 in 5 departments. So as you know, we can't release 17 vice presidents. Okay, we don't have the money to do that. Okay, so what we try to do is we ask the vice president, okay, you're going to be released to staff. So Mr. Hemlau, when he came on in 2019, was released to us on TA paid release time. As soon as I was able to accumulate the monies in the union hall, we then elevated Mr. Hemlau to staff rep, which that means is he becomes a staff rep. He's union paid. He's no longer TA paid. And trying to give Mr. Hemlau some help in the department because he kept asking for help. We brought in Mr. Davenport as the field rep, TA paid. So we put 2 reps in car equipment, and we allowed Mr. Hemlau, we put together the shop stewards, and I met with the shop stewards on a Zoom meeting, and all these shop stewards were put in place to try to help the department out and the membership, which is you. Make a long story short, things have not been going correctly. in-car equipment. And again, I can't get into all the details at this point. Information came to my office and my executive vice president's office, and we met. And we also met with Mr. Hemlau a couple of weeks ago regarding these allegations, and they were severe. And I had to make a decision whether to keep Mr. Hemlau on staff, union paid, or to let him go back temporarily until I brought this charge to the executive board, the whole executive board, and let them make a decision as to what actually happened here. Now, we did, in fact, I did, along with my executive vice president and my top executive officers, did in fact investigate this. We spoke to the members that made complaints. The executive board themselves had complaints. So we did investigate it, okay? Let me outline something to you all. As the president of the union, our Constitution clearly gives the president the authority to hire staff and put them back to work and so on and so forth. Like I said, we are not structured like TWU, a totally different structure. And it's my obligation to make sure that you, the members in car equipment, and that's what we're speaking about right now is car equipment, are secure, safe, and happy with your union representation, right? We can't have your union coming out there and doing things that should not be being done. Like I said, I can't get into too many details. That'll all come out at the executive board and whatever happens after that. But I just want to say that Mr. Hemlau is still the vice president of the section. I don't have the authority as president to remove Mr. Hemlau's position as vice president. I do not have that authority to take his title away. So the rumors that are out there is that I took out Mr. Hemlau, I did this, I did that. I did not. I removed Mr. Hemlau off my staff for what I believed at the time, and I still believe, of the allegations that were made against him for the safety of my members in car equipment. That's all I can say about that. Now, let me just try to give you a scenario. You are all supervisors, just like I'm a supervisor. We all have employees that work under us. If you have an employee in your gang that you supervise that is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, or they're causing a conflict with other employees that you supervise, you are obligated as a supervisor to do what? One or two things. Write that member up, write that employee up, write that employee up, or take that employee out of service. That is what you're obligated to do. You're obligated as a supervisor, as we all are, to make sure that the job gets done and it gets done correctly, and everybody in your gang that you supervise feels safe and comfortable with it all. So you have a job. You remove them or you write them up. In the union, we don't like to go down paths like that, okay? But as the president, I am the highest level in this union as president, but I'm a supervisor, right? So understand, everybody that works in the union hall are my staff, just like your employees that work under you when you supervise them day by day, right? When one of my staff doesn't do the right thing, or doesn't appear to be doing the right thing, or there's allegations made about that, and you have numerous conversations with that person, just like you would have numerous conversations with one of these employees that work under you, all right, out in the field, and it does not get corrected, okay, it leaves you in a position where you have to now take action. You have to take action. Why? To protect your job when you're working in the field, to protect your employees that work under you, right? As the president, I have to do the same thing. The difference is I have 4,100 members that I have to protect. In car equipment, I have over 500 members I have to protect, right? So I have to make a decision. So I made a decision at that point to remove Mr. Hemlau from my staff until this investigation by the whole executive board is complete. And if the executive board feels that there needs to be a trial committee, then they will impanel a trial committee. and everything will be heard. Witnesses will be testifying. Mr. Hemel will have his day, if that's the case. And again, it's in the executive board's hands. I just wanted to say, I'm sorry for this. It's something that has to be done. It's something that had to be done. And I would hope that before you pass judgment on this union and even pass judgment on Mr. Hemlau, wait till everything comes out and see, because there's always two sides of the story, and then you have the truth in the middle, right? And again, as president, this is not a happy time for me. I don't like doing this. This is probably the worst part of the job. All right. But I had to do what I had to do for you, the members in car equipment. I want to say thank you, and I appreciate it. And your reps are out there. You do have representation out there. You have Mr. Ochoa, you have Mr. Davenport, you have Mr. Dalquist out there. They're doing what they need to do. They're working with your shop stewards. They're trying to get things done. And again, you have representation. So you didn't lose your representation. And again, Mr. Hemlau is still the vice president in this section. So anybody that says that I took his title away is not telling you the truth. They're lying to you. Okay, that is not correct. The only people that have the power to take a vice president's title away is the executive board, not me as president. The executive board has that authority. Okay, thank you all. God bless you all, and I'll be talking to you soon.